It was either that or do my like awful Seinfeld bit where Jerry Seinfeld would be like, "What's the deal with HLS? It's already got an acronym in it."
10 out of 10.
Anyway.
Excellent impression.
Thank you. I intentionally did a bad one, but yeah. Okay, so hey everyone, and welcome to the Headliner Podcast. We're your hosts, Nicholas and Alyssa, and we're here to keep you in the loop on all the things that you can do to promote your podcast. So Alyssa, what are we talking about today?
So today we're going to be talking about kind of largely what I think everybody's talking about, and it is the Apple update. So Apple is rolling out HLS update for podcasts. So there's a lot of stuff out there, a lot of really great resources. If you're super technical, I would definitely check out Pod News's stuff. They wrote a lot of really great information, did a lot of tests. It's really cool. It's really awesome. It's where we got a lot of our information from because I am not the most technically oriented person in the world. But we're basically just going to be breaking down today, kind of what it means for your podcast and just kind of talking about it in a little bit more kind of easier to understand way, hopefully.
Yeah, which is good because, look, I am a tech nerd, right? That's my gimmick. That's how I look at myself. And a lot of this stuff goes over my head too, to where I just kind of want to curl into a ball and hope at some point it clicks for me. And in the spirit of that, you said that we've been talking about, or everyone in the space is talking about like Apple and video. It's the big thing on everyone's mind. Netflix has podcasts now. Spotify has video podcasts. YouTube is the biggest media company in the world as of yesterday. I don't know if you saw that headline.
I didn't, but that's not surprising.
Doesn't shock me, but they bring in more in ad revenue than like Disney, Netflix, etc. So video podcasting is big on everyone's mind. I've noticed within the podcasting space that people are even kind of debating, what do we call a video podcast? What is a video podcast? And it comes back to this question that I thought would be really cool to just position to everyone listening. I'd love to know what you define a podcast itself as. Is it something that lives on an RSS feed? I'm a very literal guy. So my definition of a podcast is it a form of content created by normal people that isn't music that I can put on an iPod? That encompasses video, that encompasses audio. That's me. But I thought it'd be cool for everyone watching on YouTube. I thought I'd welcome and give everyone the floor to tell us what you define a podcast as and why. And for everyone watching a potential pull of this clip on Instagram or LinkedIn. That's something we grace ourselves with. I think you and I, Alyssa, like to actually talk to Headliner users and listeners. So there you go.
Yes, we be talking all the time.
Yeah.
Very responsive, I will say. If you ever get a comment back, it's probably me. So I do like to yap, obviously. So
yeah, exactly.
Ask away, comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Okay. Thank you for that. Now, HLS, please tell me what it is, because again, completely over my head.
It was a lot, and it took me a lot of reading and a lot of listening and a lot of Googling to figure it out, but I think I've got it now. So HLS, it really stands for HTTP live streaming. So, and a little bit more on that in a second, but okay. It kind of started back. Apple actually technically invented it a while ago. So in 2009, they came out with this thing, and it's kind of on the idea of an RSS feed where it's open source. So it means that really anybody can technically use it. It just is. It's a form of streaming. You've probably seen it in real life. Most actual streaming services like Netflix and Hulu, they do use HLS to help prevent buffering and delays and to just basically improve the consumption experience. So it's kind of on the idea of an RSS in which you can use it, you can distribute content. But for video especially, it provides kind of an elevated experience for the end user or the listener in this case.
That was something that I understood, where it does dynamically shift the quality of your content. And I think for podcasters, that's a very big thing. Again, thinking about the podcast experience, I'm a person that likes to listen or half watch my podcasts on the go, right? So having something like HLS there is just going to improve the experience to where you might be in an area with lower data speeds, you know? Maybe you don't get a 5G signal out while you're, I don't know, on the bus or something. Well, with HLS, you're going to be watching your video back at like 240p, but you're going to be watching your video as opposed to like sitting there on the bus waiting for your 1080p file to fully buffer. So from a user experience, that's actually pretty big for podcasts because like a lot of those are, digested on the go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know I've definitely suffered through it. Like college Wi-Fi, not always the best. So I think it took me like until season 2 of Stranger Things to like see what a Demogorgon really looked like. It was like, whoa, that's crazy. That's my own personal experience. But yeah, just like Nicholas said, from a, again, kind of watered down, non-technical perspective, HLS, it just literally helps to improve that consumption experience. So as opposed to downloading one massive file, which you may have been able to see, like RSS technically has been able to support video, but there's like these really big files in it. So it's not always the best experience. HLS breaks it up into a lot of different files. So it's kind of continuously grabbing these chunks as you're consuming, and it matches the quality of consumption to what you're able to access. So if you're, like you said, if you're like on the bus, you're moving around, maybe you go behind a really big building, your signal just tanks, your video quality will kind of, you'll see that. It'll look a little bit more grainy, but, as you turn the corner, get around the building, oh, now you have full bars again, you're going to see that quality kind of bump up. But the whole point is you're able to continue listening without any type of delay or any real interference that would bar you from actively consuming the content.
Exactly. And just to stress that, I feel like that's the best thing that HLS brings to the table, mostly because it is so compatible with the way that we digest podcasts. For me, a podcast is deeply personal. It's deeply immediate. It's something like, okay, I want to know about this. I'm picking this thing. It is direct from the source, hopefully, talking about the thing. And now I don't have to get interrupted because my bus went into a tunnel and then got stuck in traffic, Not speaking from experience, or anything like that. I don't know if this was ever you, Alyssa, but back in the office days when I'd go commute to the city to work with the rest of the headliner team out of an office, I would like manically reach for Spotify and download whatever I'm listening to as soon as I'm leaving a specific train station. Because it was like, okay, you're going to get stuck in a tunnel for like 5 to 10 minutes, and you better have this downloaded. But with HLS, that may not actually have been necessary. I would have just had enough of the episode buffered already for me to keep going.
Yeah, I mean, I did it with music. Like I'm from rural Kentucky, so going in Moorhead, there's definitely no connection. So I would download playlists so I could just be able to listen to music. So I can relate to that. Yes, HLS solved a lot of those problems for a lot of people.
Also, and there's no other place for me to say this, so I'm just going to say it. I'm so tickled by the name HLS, mostly because it's an acronym for something with an acronym. HLS, HTTPS. I don't know. It just tickles my brain. What will they think of next?
I felt like really dumb for a while because, again, I was reading a lot. So I was Googling. I was like, what the heck does this stand for? Like, I know this is an acronym, but what is the acronym?
Hypertext Transfer Protocol Service live streaming.
Yeah, I got the live streaming part.
Well, sure.
I got the live streaming part, but I was like, what is the H? It was like, and then it was like, is it just HTTP, right?
Yeah, HTTPS. There's an S because it's secure. It's encrypted.
There we go. So I felt like I was going slowly insane. And then it was like, I guess it's just an abbreviation for the abbreviation. And that's, yeah. So I'm glad that you confirmed that because I was really, really struggling.
It was either that or do my like awful Seinfeld bit where Jerry Seinfeld would be like, what's the deal with HLS? It's already got an acronym in it.
10 out of 10. Excellent impression.
Thank you. Okay. So HLS, I think what we're getting at is it's really there to just up the convenience of video, which has always been something of a barrier because videos are pretty big, you know? A 1-hour podcast video in 1080p can be like 10 gigabytes. And I don't know about you, Alyssa, but I don't really have the time to download a 10 gigabyte file on the go.
I don't have the space.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, just like otherwise I feel like our phones would be just pinging us to get iCloud storage every like day. But that's awesome. It's so good to hear that Apple is going to be like doing stuff pertaining to this tech. And I'd love to hear like more about that. Maybe what some of the other features that come from it will be.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. And before we kind of get more into what Apple really announced and again, more of what it means for your podcast, I do kind of want to shout one thing out because I'll probably forget because this is the order in which the notes are written. And if I scroll, it's gone forever. HLS is open source. Apple did invent it. However, because it's open source, no one company really controls it. So right now, Apple is pretty much kind of the governing body that's helping to set the standard. So that's kind of something to keep in mind. Like RSS has the podcast project standard, maybe. Okay.
Something like that.
I did remember that. It's something like that. Again, Google it. It's kind of, I got pretty close, but anyways, they kind of like regulate and make sure. But right now, it's kind of just, it's Apple right now. So food for thought there.
Yeah, and look, glass half full. It's open source. Yes, it is just Apple right now. But the beauty of open source is that the source code is available to literally everyone. So someone else can go in there, and not only can they very easily come to support it on their service or whatever, they can contribute to it. They can build new features for it. And then Apple or everyone else will have those new features. They will have the source code because they're contributing to the open source. Yeah, right now it's just Apple, but you know, there's going to be some adoption there, I'm sure.
I mean, it's Apple. They kind of podcasting Apple.
I wanted to say, hey, it's Apple without just going like, hey, it's Apple.
Well, it's just synonymous with podcasting to an extent. So
it literally podcast, iPod. Yeah, like tell me more.
Anyways, so what did Apple really announce? Again, they're adding the HLS support for Apple Podcasts. It's coming out probably with the new iOS, probably around the end of March. No hard dates are being released, though I would expect to see some more information come to light very, very soon as South by Southwest with Podcast Evolutions is actually going on right now at the time of filming. And I believe Apple's the keynote speaker tomorrow. So I would be really excited to see, I would imagine more information is going to come out about this because it's in podcasting conference and it's exciting and it's Apple. It's cool.
Yeah, it just seems like the sort of place where that would happen.
For us,
sure.
It's really cool. But anyways, that's a nerdy thing. So, and another thing, Apple technically does support video podcasting right now. However, it's not necessarily the best experience. So they're quoting it as kind of elevating it and being a now transformative experience. So it will be a lot better for the listeners to consume video. Again, from Pod News, I'm going to just use exactly what they wrote about it. I've seen it. I didn't. Okay, so basically, there's a very, very tiny video that you can see if a podcast has uploaded video in their RSS feed. Super tiny. Pod News said it's literally 1/10 of an inch tall. So I really doubt that you could see it very well or very easily. So this new update is going to really improve. So you'll be able to actually see the video and actively consume it. And then also not have those massive files being downloaded and taking up storage versus the progressive download. It's going to just kind of keep consuming and then kind of wipe as you're going. So it's a lot better. Yeah,
it's just going to probably save to your cache and then just kind of clear itself.
Yeah, it's a lot better for you. Yeah. So that's what's exciting.
Also, shout out to Pod News for the 1/10 of an inch tall. Like, I love that image. I'm just thinking of Derek Zoolander looking at like a phone suddenly and being like, what is this? A podcast for ants?
Yeah, I don't know how James figured that out, but props to you because
I'm just imagining James had a ruler and, a
little bit. I would have said it's really small, guys, but I love the actual stat. But anyways, so what for listeners, kind of what the HLS update is going to look like. It's going to make the video so you can see it. Number one, that's super important. Number two, it's going to provide the ability for AirPlay. So you'll be able to kind of share it to other devices. So you could watch it on a bigger screen, still have your phone, like being able to do whatever. Also, I'm kind of comparing this to YouTube because I do this all the time. Probably not the best, but I'm a chronic multitasker on my mobile device. Again, not the best, but you can shrink your little video down. So you'll have your video playing in the corner, but you can still use your device. So enhanced support of device multitasking. A lot of the other stuff that we know and love about Apple Podcasts is going to remain true. You'll still have the speed controls. You'll still be able to enhance the dialogue audio. And then another really cool thing is if you are consuming a video podcast, but you don't want to actively watch the video, the user is able to kind of toggle that off so they can just continue to kind of have that same experience that they have now. Again, if they don't want to watch the video or however, you can just continue using a podcast as you're using a podcast.
Yeah, and that's a pretty cool thing. And I don't know if anyone here uses like YouTube Music, but that's actually something on YouTube Music for like songs with music videos that you can do. Where, oh, I'm listening to this. Hey, wait, which music video is this? And then you just literally hit a button and it'll just swap over to the music video. So I'm assuming it works somewhat similar. And that's a pretty cool ad.
Yeah. Again, all of this is in beta right now, so it's kind of like, it's a little speculative on exactly what it looks like. But yeah, super cool. You can kind of control how you consume. One thing that it does kind of seem that we are losing with the update right now, the as you listen transcripts are not totally working for video. I mean, I can't even think of a way that you would be able to have, especially on a mobile device, like the transcript actively going with the video playing. Right now, they do have captions that appear on the videos if you enable that. So that's great. But again, I don't think that's totally figured out or at least visible right now. So probably, again, at the end of March, we'll probably get more updates and be able to really play with it and really see how that works.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I'm sure there are just like amazing tools out there that allow you to physically bake those captions in. I really like the word bake. It feels like it's just one letter off from the tool that does that. Alyssa, could you help me out there? Definitely not setting you up over here.
Yes. So if your podcast host is part of this update, so I think there's 4, and I have them written down further in the notes. Again, I'm not going to scroll because then I'll screw myself up. So if you want to upload video, you want to take advantage of this awesome update, but you really want to ensure that your video looks great and there's captions, you can bake them into the actual video. So there's tools like Headliner, Make by Headliner. There it is.
Oh, there it is.
You can just go ahead and add captions to your full-length video. You can do it in a styled, controlled, branded way. So it'll look and feel a little bit more like your podcast, and you just know that it's there and that people are able to see it. We know that captions help with retention on videos. So there you go. You can just create and upload video with captions, and you don't even have to worry about, like, is it spelled properly? That kind of thing. It's all accurate because you did it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Quick and easy. What else could you want? Oh, awesome too. That's what else you could want. And guess what? Yeah, we do that. We are pretty awesome.
I won't say it, but you said it, so there we go.
Well, it's also, quick aside, I feel like we should rename a feature on Make as Cake because we can bake captions in like it's a cake. But I'll take that up with the engineering team and they'll just probably yell at me.
Oh.
Don't worry.
They love me so much.
Yeah, I'm sure. Someone on the team is listening to this right now and he's just shaking his head at both of us.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyways, so that's kind of what it looks like for listeners. A better, quote, transformative experience, according to Apple. But what does this mean for podcasters, our primary audience here? So number 1, don't freak out. HLS is not replacing your RSS. I was a little bit nervous because I was like, uh-oh, how do I upload this now? It's fine. You can still keep doing what you're doing. HLS, if you are using video, big, bold, if you are using video, is just another way to distribute your podcast. So right now there's only 4 hosting platforms. See, there it is. I didn't have to scroll that far, but only 4 hosting platforms are listed right now in the Apple HLS announcement. It's going to be Acast, Art19, Simplecast, and Omni Studio. So if you're with those 4 hosts and you're using video, super cool. They're going to provide you with resources and materials to tell you how to upload this video so you can distribute HLS on Apple, or distribute video on Apple. And whoever else is going to be supporting HLS, I'm assuming more will, as kind of this grows and adoption and all that. But there you go. And it is going to, so obviously, like, if you're uploading video, you're probably like, well, what about for those podcast players that don't support video yet? Your audio is still being uploaded through the HLS. It's just a slightly different way to ensure the video is pretty. So you have to have video and audio for this to really work. And similarly, ads and podcast. So dynamic ad insertion is possible for video. However, the ads must have video and audio. If they do not have those, then it's going to be just quiet. Like the ads aren't going to play. Mm-hmm. So obviously for podcasters that monetize with dynamic ad insertion, so just kind of, make sure that whatever ads marketplace you're using is compatible, all that. Your ad stack will most likely work all the same. Again, this is all new, so people are still figuring it out. But if you don't know, just ask. It's the best way to kind of ensure that you're going to be able to still monetize your show with ads and have them play and not just have this like weird silence in your show.
And to be clear, when, people say you need video and audio, that doesn't mean you need to like change the way you make your ads in a big way. It doesn't mean you need to like sit in front of a camera and do the reads like this. You could just use stuff like Make in order to make like a high quality audiogram of your ad. I actually think this was brought up in Pod News like this week. Like, what will dynamic ads look like? Will it just be an audiogram? Will it be more? Is one more valuable than the other? These are questions that are still being figured out simply because, like you said, it's a new frontier. We're in the Wild West days of podcasting again.
Exactly. But again, if you're a podcaster, I wouldn't panic. There's companies that make their entire profit off of this. Like, they're going to figure that out. That's not on you to figure out. You're good. And if you want to know more, Brian Barletta over at Sounds Profitable wrote an amazing article. Again, got a lot of information off of him. The bigger picture behind Apple HLS. It's really awesome. It goes very deeply into kind of the ad stuff and the concerns with monetization and all of that jazz. So I'll link it down below, but definitely be sure to go give that a read because it really goes into that in a much better way than I could ever hope to do.
All right, cool. Well, Alyssa, is there anything else that we should share with our amazing listener and viewership?
Yeah, so I think this is, again, I'm in marketing, so I get really excited by these types of things. But analytics, so HLS, again, because of the way it's providing the video and it's doing those kind of chunks, it has more exact watch times. So again, this is all kind of speculative. We're not totally sure, how hosts are going to do this, but technically HLS provides much more granular data in regards to your watch time and consumption than versus the kind of the traditional progressive download. So you'll be able to see drop-off points. Again, allegedly, you'll be able to see these drop-off points. So if you are a podcaster who uses YouTube Studio, you can normally see kind of like your retention, see, okay, where does the average person fall off? How long are people listening type deal? With HLS, that is a lot more feasible. So I would expect to see a lot more podcast hosts being able to give podcasters more granular data in regards to watch time and retention. So I'm really excited for that because that's always something that I get really into because that's my job. So
Yeah. No, you and I both. I do a lot of YouTube stuff on my free time, and
you don't say.
It's easy to get lost in the weeds with analytics.
Very.
Terrifyingly easy.
Very much so. So now podcasters, welcome to that. It's fun.
No, it's great though, especially for all the podcasts out there that are backing up a business or are trying to like promote a product or a service, whatever, having this kind of granular data is so big simply because it allows you to tailor your show towards specific audiences more easily. And, I always joke about like Monday Morning Quarterback. You put out a podcast, you wait a week, and then you look at the stats and go, okay, I fumbled over here, or we lost people now. And now you have more data to do that. So this is actually great for podcasters. It means you're going to be able to make your show better, and you're going to have more data that will hopefully more clearly tell you what you need to do. It's less driving in the dark and more having high beams on.
I mean, I think for me, it's the most exciting part about the HLS update. But yeah, that's just me though. That's my own POV. As a podcaster, what should you do? If you're audio first, don't worry about a thing. Nothing's changing for you. You're still going to be able to distribute with the good old RSS feed. So you're good. Don't worry about it. If you are a video first show, or you thinking about going video first, and you want the ability to distribute the video specifically with Apple in that kind of new transformative way, make sure that your host is part of those updates. If they're not, you may need to start, thinking about considering switching, looking into that, asking questions to your current host. Again, this is all very new, so I would expect adoption to kind of grow. But right now, there's just those 4 that are released in the announcement. So some food for thought there. If you do monetize with dynamic ads, just double check your stack. Again, ask questions. It's all new. I can't stress it enough. Double check and you'll be good to go. I'll shout it out one last time. The Bigger Picture Behind Apple HLS by Brian Barletta over at Sounds Profitable, who Headliner is a super proud partner of. I will shout that out. Go check it out.
Okay.
It goes into a lot of really awesome detail, more specifically in regards to ads.
Okay. Awesome. Alyssa, pleasure as always. I think we absolutely nailed it today. I feel like I have a better understanding of what HLS is. You know what HTTPS stands for now.
Don't quiz me on it, but yep.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to quiz you as soon as the call ends. But anyway, thank you to everyone for sticking around. Don't forget to answer that little question I positioned at the top of this episode if you'd like to. And we'll catch you on the next episode, where we'll be talking about some really cool stuff about podcasting, probably related to video, because again, it's where the industry is going.